Hello and welcome to SDN Tech Forum. It has been a while we have talked about home internet. So as you can see on my channel, previously we discussed Pi-hole, which is a managed DNS DHCP server. And if you don't like to install the software on your own from source code, what you can do, you can use Balena, a cloud service, which give you a free Pi-hole management, right? So you can just download the image, install it on your Raspberry Pi, Raspberry Zero, and it will make a connection to Balena Cloud, and it will always be updated, right? So pretty straightforward to install, and that's what I'm running at home. This is the Pi-hole local interface, not the Balena interface, but the local interface where I can log in and see how many clients I have, how many total queries been made, what percent has been blocked, and how many domains is blacklisted, and so many more details, right? It's full of data, full of information, right? That's what I can access that in this information from local um, interface. But this interface is available only when I am at home and I am sitting in the same network, right? This is a great useful data. I was wondering if I can uh, use this data and ingest it into some form of Grafana or Splunk dashboard and enrich this data, right? So I came across a awesome repo which actually talk about how you can see the same information what you're seeing here in the desktop, how you can see or fetch the same information using APIs. So today we are going to discuss Pi-hole APIs, right? There are certain prerequisites for that. An assumption is you are running Balena Pi-hole, but it doesn't matter if you even if you have a Pi-hole local install, API playbook will work for you. So if you want, you can follow along. The main prerequisite is you must have a login password set. So you can keep your Balena Pi-hole um, as a blank password or without password, but for APIs to work, since many of the APIs work on authentication and it uses the same username and password what you have set for your Balena dashboard. So make sure you have a password set for your dashboard. So once you click login, it asks or prompt you for a password. If you haven't set the password, what you can do, you can go to Balena Pi-hole terminal, and from there you can do Pi-hole -a-p, and that will give you an option to set a password. Once you have set the password, come back here and log in. So you can see this is my dashboard. I have query logs, settings. Let's go to settings. I can see my uh, DNS, DHCP. Um, I can see long-term data, top list, top domain, top client based on the date and time range, right? So I can say today, and as you can see, I have tons of things going inside my network, right? So the same information, how we can fetch using API. For that, I come across a very nice GitHub repo, and I actually forked that. So you can see I forked a Pi-hole API repo from net netc or order netcore recorder. I think he want to say net recorder or something. Yep. So netc order, from there I forked this Pi-hole API, and that is now available in SDN Tech Forum repo as well. So if you're not familiar with uh, Postman, how to run Postman, you will see that here in this video. What you can do, you can also fork the API so that it will be available for you. And the next thing what you want to do, you want to download Postman. And once you download Postman, install Postman, and from there you will see something like this. So you are in Postman, and from there you can click on home, and this is my workspace. Within workspace, go say import From import, we want to import code repo. Click on code repo, GitHub, and from GitHub it will ask you that, okay, if you're doing it for first time, it will actually ask you to prompt you to do username and password. If you do the username and password, you'll be redirected to that. You are authorized. Okay, so that's good. I have made a connection, and now since I am authenticated, I can see my org, SGN Tech Forum, and under that I have all my repos, and I have already forked a repo called Pi-hole API. I'm going to select that and import, but I'm not going to do that because, as you can see, I have already imported Pi-hole API. Right. Once you import the Pi-hole API, you'll see it has tons of queries: get version, summary stats, get top 10 item, and along with some queries, you'll see some are saying no authentication and some are saying with authentication required. That means there are few APIs which actually uh, free from any kind of authentication. You can just send a get message and Pi-hole is supposed to send you a reply without any authentication, like what version I'm running, right? So let's go ahead and run this. And I will talk about this variable in a minute, but let's run this. As you can see, I'm running Pi-hole version 3, and there is no authentication token or key as such. The beauty of this Git repo, I highly appreciate whoever came up with the repo. Is such a useful thing. The beauty is you will also find the environment imported or created. So if you want to see the environment detail, as you import the repo, the environment will be imported automatically. Let's go and check what we have in import. You will see Pi-hole key, Pi-hole server, port number, and if you're running any kind of like Elasticsearch, then the Elastic IP address. So you'll see initial value, put your key here. So you need to find your Pi-hole key, and I'll show you where to or how to find that in a minute. Pi-hole server, put your Pi-hole IP address here, and then the port number. Port number is specific to your installation. If you are running Balena Pi-hole, you will see that Balena Resin or supervisor listen to port number 48484. 4848 or it's, you can say 48484, right? 48,484. That's the port number I'm going to use within my Postman. So let's go ahead and fetch the key, because for Postman environment we need a few things. We need Pi-hole API key, we need server IP address, which I already populated here, and I know my port number. So let's see where to get the Pi-hole key. And for that, what you have to do, you have to go to your Pi-hole. Within Pi-hole, go to settings, web interface. From web interface, show API token. And as I give you a confirmation, make sure that nobody else has scanned this code, because this is very specific for your API. Anyone who has the access to this API key, they can pull your Pi-hole from internet, right? And you don't want that. So I'm not going to show you my API token, and that's probably the best thing you can also do. You may get a different prompt or a blank token in case you don't have the password set. So that's why I said that one of the prerequisite or assumption is that you must have a password set. Otherwise, you will not going to get the API setting. All right, so I'm not going to go there, and let me populate my key real quick in this screen so that we can start sending the Postman calls. Okay. So I'm going to remove X, Y, and Z and put my actual key value. That's it. All right, so I have my keys populated, and now let's go ahead and run a few calls which require authentication. As you can see, get top 10 item list, authentication required. And why it says authentication required, because in parameter you can see I have an authentication check and a value is assigned to Pi-hole key, which is a variable, and that is the variable coming from my environment where I have my Pi-hole API keys. Right. So let's go ahead and send this. As you can see, top 10 queries, all my client who are sending queries, the information is listed here. Epson, WD Cloud, and whatnot, right? Top 10 ads. These are the ads which is getting blocked. So all the information what I can see from Pi-hole dashboard itself, I can get it from here. All right. Okay, let's do something. Get query source. Same thing. As you can see, who are my top sources in my network? Uh, my TV, couple of servers, ring cameras, all those are sending DNS queries. So top 10 um, things which is sending DNS query, they are listed here. You can not only send the get, but you can also enable or disable blocking or add a allow list, add a domain to allow list or deny list by using API itself. As you can see, add domain to allow list. Here you have add equal to goodsite.com. So you can uh, replace this with whatever site you want to add, or whatever domain you want to add, you just replace it here, and that will be added into your allowed domain list. At the same time, if you want to deny something, though Pi-hole repos are refreshed automatically, it's well maintained, but if ad hoc on ad hoc basis you want to add or deny something, you can do it via API as well, right? Okay, so let's see something with related to time. You want to go in one particular time, then what you can do, you can do a time-based query, and here you can see this is epoch time. That means this is a Zulu time, epoch time. What you can do, you can use any epoch converter, and it will, you can convert from epoch to regular time, and it will tell you what time. As you can see, it is just going continuously, that is every 10-second interval. So you can see time-wise queries at what time, who has requested what, right? So this is huge. I think uh, instead of like glue yourself with a Pi-hole dashboard, you can do some ad hoc queries. I think this is a great step. Thank you, Pi-hole, for opening up the APIs, whole lot of APIs to us. And now I'm thinking we can probably ingest this data to some kind of nice dashboard. Uh, I don't know what is possible, maybe a Grafana dashboard or Elasticsearch dashboard, and have our own customized view of DNS, DHCP, whatever is going inside my network. So I think you were able to follow along with the video. If you have any challenges navigating around Postman, how to import GitHub repo or run calls, or even set up the environment, if you run into any challenges, feel free to write that in comment section, and I can probably try to help you as much as I can. Thank you for watching. uh, Keep sharing with your friends, subscribe, like, and thank you.